Welcome to the threesome, y'all. This is the podcast where the three of us try to discuss at least three topics each week without the show tunes. If you are back for more of this mess, we thank you for putting up with us once again. And if this is your first time with us, we're so glad you found us, and we do apologize in advance. Now, if the three of us, in case you do not know, are our point person and optimistic realist. We call her Star.
The sun will come out tomorrow. Nah.
Will it?
Right, eight,
Anyway, our man in the middle, and our voice of reason, we call him Magic.
Dear rappers, the people that you watch on the internet battling don't get paid if they get into a fight. You in real life can get punched in your face for talking crazy.
And bringing up the rear as always, I identify as the pragmatic contrarian of the group, and
Damn.
I am called Storm.
Sometimes
It's been a long work week, people.
Like, give me a job.
What?
I didn't
He
know
just
you
called
were
you
employed.
Oh, well, it's a lot you don't know.
Cool.
But, yeah. Been a long week. In a good way, though, I guess. But that's beside the point. Black love, y'all. Give it up.
All right.
Rah, rah, rah.
Or don't. I mean, whatever.
Listen, it's a dying breed of black men that loves black women. I'm all in.
So, okay. So that brings me to the topic about. I was watching this two-part YouTube series about called "The Myth of Black Love," and it talked about a lot of things in the video, but the overwhelming subject was basically how, as black women from childhood, a lot of us are sold the dream of, growing up and finding a good husband, a good man, and eventually the husband and having kids and whatever, the picket fence, the whole thing. So, and that our commitment, is normally to the black man, whereas with most black men, I mean, not most, that's wrong. With a lot of black men, um, it's not in return, they don't have that same commitment to us as far as like dating us and marrying us, and as we do to them. And I mean, the video was real interesting because it talked about a lot of things like, the shortage of black men, but then that's also compounded with the shortage of marriageable black men. Um, and what she considered marriageable was someone who, gainfully employed and,
Not a
is
hoe.
able to,
Oh,
well, that wasn't a part of the classification, but she did talk about
should have
that.
been.
She did talk
Is not a
about
married
that
hose.
whole she did talk about that whole syndrome because, with the shortage, there came this rise in the attitude of a lot of black men that they were, high value real estate, and
Yeah.
that, yeah, and that, the woman basically had to do all the caping for him, and he could go out there and do whatever it was that he, wanted to, because, because of the shortage. It's like, okay, well, where's she going? And I mean, like I said, you guys got to watch that because it's really interesting. But it got me to thinking about how I was never sold that dream of, oh, be a good, nice little housewife, learn how to cook, clean, do all this other stuff, so that you can grow up and take care of your man. I I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I say that with sarcasm in my voice, but those who choose to do that, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's just not for
There's
everybody.
absolutely nothing wrong with that. But
Um,
my point is that that was not taught in my house.
yeah, and it wasn't necessary. It wasn't taught in my house either, but there are a lot of households. I don't know if it's so common these days, but in our
Listen,
age range, I'll say 40 plus, you know what I mean? That was, the thing. Just grow up,
no,
get
I
kind of
don't
good.
know that that was the thing. I
In
mean,
a lot of households, yeah.
I don't know about a lot. Well, again, we grew up in very different places because that wasn't really well, it didn't seem to be a thing where I grew up. Matter of fact, the first person I encountered that had been taught that, I was taken aback, I tell you, that her mother would say these things to her. Like, I was like, what? Like, your mom told you that? As I think I told you guys this story. She showed me her report card, and it was like a whole bunch of, you know, I barely passed with a D and, a couple of F's. And I was like, ooh, you're going to get killed when you get home.
Hmm.
And the response was, oh, my mom doesn't care about my grades, because I'm just going to graduate from high school and get married to a soldier. And I was like, what? But what? Like
That's
that
your
was
whole
just
plan.
amazing. Yeah, like that was the plan. Like that was what I guess she was being taught, that that's what she was good for. And like that, I was, when I tell you, this was in high school, and I was taken aback because that was the first time I had ever heard any such from any of my friends. So,
That
um,
mentality
Yeah.
left a lot of women pregnant by military dudes who were not there.
well, yes, but even those people were not being told that this is all you're good for, is my point. Like they weren't sold this, you need to be a housewife
Fantasy.
fantasy. It was, nah, you need to get your ass in that classroom and finish school, so that you can take care of this baby that you done had or whatever. It was never, you need to learn how to be a good housewife. Like that was never the thing. But
You don't think it's
and
regional?
also, well, I don't know.
There's
It
some
could be
country
like
areas where I think it was taught more so than further north.
well, and I was also going to say I also grew up in what could only be described as very close to the Great American Melting Pot. So, I mean, back when I was on Facebook years ago, I remember someone said to me, "Hey, are any of your friends married to black men?" And it was a legitimate question because a
Every
lot of my
military base
friends
I've
are
been
not.
around.
But I'm saying like many of my friends are not. Like,
Black
many
couples
of
are
my
going
friends.
extinct except for in like 5 cities.
Um, but I mean, so I guess my point is I don't know if it's a function of where you grew up. Like, okay, like I grew up in the same place as my friends, but I've never dated anyone who, well, that's not true. I've never seriously dated anyone who
Hmm.
wasn't black.
And I've never dated or dealt with anybody who wasn't black. And it's crazy because like for some reason or another white men
Grew
love
up in
me.
Detroit.
Well, I
That
mean,
helps.
even though but still even with that, like white men love me for whatever reason. You understand what I'm saying? Like I get more play from like white dudes and Hispanic dudes than I do from black men. Um,
Okay.
and hell, and even some Asian guys, which yeah, whatever. But um, I mean,
We're
not
equal opportunity racists here.
no, 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 no. The
I'm
thing
fucking
about
with
it
you. It's
is,
racial, not racist.
yeah, and indeed it is. But I don't know. I've always felt weird about stepping that way. Like kind of like in the video, where they said a lot of black women are, just dedicated to being with a black man. And
And
even though I
We
never
appreciate
considered
you.
myself to be that way, I guess I am, you
I
know?
mean, I think that's probably true. I don't know that that has ever been my hang up. Um, but I mean, I guess that's probably true. Um, you know what? When I was growing up, that was never my hang up. Probably my college years, it was a thing.
Hmm.
Um, and maybe for a few years post college, most of my friends who have successful long term marriages, and this is sad to say, are not married to black men.
And the lady made that point in the video as well. Like there's a higher success rate of not getting
Miscegenation.
divorced,
Oh, go ahead.
in the black woman to other race union than it is in the black man to other race union.
Okay.
Let's turn it into a black men ain't shit conversation.
Well, it's not even about, I mean, here's the thing. I'm going to send you guys the link or whatever so you can watch it. It's really interesting. And if I were male, I'd probably feel some kind of way. Yeah, if I was a black man, I'd probably feel some kind of way about what she has to say. But
Because a hit dog will holler.
well, not
No,
even
she
so much
already
a
started
hit.
out the video with black men ain't financially stable, followed by they can't keep a chick. Like,
No, that's not. No, I don't think that that's what she's saying at all.
What? I missed
Because
that. What did he say? What'd you say?
you were saying earlier on that the video implied that black men weren't keepable for financial reasons, and then it goes on
no,
to
that's
say
not what
black
she
men don't
said. I think
stay
what she
with
said
women.
was that being financially stable was a criteria
To be
of
considered
being
marriageable.
to be considered marriage material.
And that's what she
So,
called it, marriageable.
yeah, yeah. But
I
I'm not
was gone
saying,
going on
yeah, I
that, but
don't
I
think she's
figured since you
saying
said
that
it
black
twice,
men
that
can't
was
be
what it said in the video.
Yeah, I don't think that means black men can't be financially stable because there are several black men that are financially stable.
A whole
However,
lot.
um, statistics do show that, particularly in the past, I'd say 20, 30 years, um, the incomes of black women have
Yeah.
started to exceed the
Yeah.
earning power of black men. But
Oh, sure.
that's more of a function of education
Education. Yep.
than it is of anything else because in the same roles we still earn less than y'all,
Yeah.
but we just at matter of fact, black women out of all races, well, other than Asians, we tend to be the ones that go for advanced degrees more often. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a men ain't shit conversation or black men ain't shit conversation.
No, and that's not what the video. The video is not a black man ain't shit conversation, but it does address a lot of the ills that seem to be frequently present with typical black men.
Well, and can I
You heard me
say
say
that a lot
typical.
of, and can I
Is it really
say
typical though, or is it the imagery?
I think that typically black men look at the imagery and buy into that bullshit.
Yeah, when you're a teenager, possibly into your mid 20s. I'm
You would
46 years
think, but
old.
no.
Every damn
Some of
man
that
I
behavior
know is a
bleeds
good father
over.
with a good career.
Yeah, you would think, but no. Like I know dudes our age that still are still on that same bullshit.
I know
Oh, I
dudes
know they
our
exist.
age. I know dudes our age who still think, they Dame Dash or somebody. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
I've seen them. I wouldn't say that's the multitude, though.
no, but
No.
there's a lot though. And I mean, think about it this way. If you figure that black women are pretty much outnumbering
Eligible.
eligible black men, like three and a half, whatever you call it, almost 4 to 1. And then you take
The definition of eligible is
30%.
real variable here.
If you take 30 to 40% of those men who do fit into that criteria, the pool of available men just gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
I've been single for years.
Yeah.
The pool of available women ain't untainted.
Well,
Well, oh no, because we got our issues too, for sure. You know?
oh, absolutely. But also, well, that's a whole different discussion. I'll tell you, it's a bunch of Asian women out here.
I know.
And hell, I was one of them in my 20s. Like, I mean,
We've all
I
had
get it.
phases.
Let it out.
I think sometimes black men, like other black men, are black men's worst enemies. Because, like, a lot of times, they sit around feeding each other a whole bunch of bullshit. What are we going to do? Like, first of all, I'm not going to put a whole lot of effort in trying to undo your social programming. Like, that is not my job, not my ministry. So I'm not about to do all that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I run up on those dudes, I just,
Walk on by.
exactly. I was going to say swipe left, but I don't be online. So, yeah, walk on by or, keep it moving half the time. So,
I don't know. That video, like I said, it was very interesting. And, they were talking about basically a lot of the black women that want to, get married these days. They
I
might
mean,
want to
if I'm,
start exploring other options. And I don't agree
oh,
with
well,
everything.
absolutely, you should be exploring all your options.
I don't agree with everything. Excuse
Shout
me,
out to all the
jeez.
good men out here getting ignored.
Let it
No,
go. Let it go.
no. See,
Speak what's
here's
on
the
your
thing.
soul.
Mm.
There are a lot of good black men out here who
Friend
aren't
zone.
necessarily getting ignored. I wouldn't say that. Once they get past a certain age, a lot of them aren't making themselves available either.
That I believe.
Yeah. So,
And
we
Lord
got
knows
issues.
why, because there's so many great women out here available.
But see, some of that is, though, I believe,
Oh,
when you
no,
have
we
a
don't make.
dating pool, when you have a dating pool that is in numbers 2 to 3 times greater, right? Some of that with a lot of these men is they need to start selecting beyond their eyeballs. You understand?
Oh,
And
yeah. Y'all
and
should have
that's what
figured
I
that
was
out
going
in
to
your
mention
20s.
earlier.
Um,
No, 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 no. You would think, but no, no. Again, and I think I've mentioned it before on this here podcast. A lot of these men be out here selecting women based on who's going to impress their friends
Now, like
visually.
one or two, three podcasts ago, both of y'all were describing what type of men you like, and y'all both started with tall and relatively physically fit.
I also said, if you were
No, you
listening, which
said
you
more. I
probably
just said
weren't
started
because,
with.
Y chromosome, I also said that being short is not a deal breaker. I also said that
Here at the end of the day,
because I have the capacity to see past all that. But my preference is visually a tall man. But if I meet a good short man, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, he's a good dude, but damn, if he's only 5'8", you know what I mean? Like, nah.
at the end of the day, there's a difference between you basically picking someone who is physically attractive to you, right? And then you find
Mm-hmm.
out there's a lot of things about that person that are not compatible with you,
Right.
right? So I believe that there are more women will just say, hey, we not a good fit unless they after the dude for something else, right? Like money, or he got a little bit of money, they might put up with a little foolishness, whatever. But for the most part, most women will go ahead and call that quits. Whereas a lot of dudes, when they choose someone that is physically pleasing to them, they'll know that motherfucker is crazy.
Right.
Or they
Point out a
find
certain
out,
woman when you see one, but okay.
I mean, they'll know, like, well, hell, I've heard so many dudes that are like attracted to crazy because they say the sex is good. That's a whole nother conversation. But
Right.
they'll know that that person is crazy, or they'll see signs of it, or they'll have 7 kids and 8 different baby daddies. Yeah, I said it. I mean, but
It
I'm just
happens.
saying a lot of things that a
Yeah. That
lot of
math don't be mathing, but okay.
I know. I said it. I listen.
There are
So
whole
here's
TV
the
shows
thing.
made based on that.
So they'll have all these things that, let's just say, is not appealing to them in a mate, but they'll get involved with these women. Okay,
Just because. Right.
just because she got a fat ass, she's super light skinned, or she got long hair, whatever the reason is, they'll get
Strictly
involved with these
move, my
women
nigga.
and be
Strictly
with these
move.
women for several years for whatever reason may be. Now, what ends up happening is a lot of these dudes end up getting caught up when they in situations like that. Sometimes it might
Absolutely.
be that the woman gets pregnant. Sometimes they actually might, get to developing friends, or they may just be, you know, uh, they may just be vaginally whipped. Okay, whatever the case may be, a lot of times women, they don't even let it get that far. I'm not saying all women, but the majority of women, when they find out that they're not compatible with somebody, they'll just be like, okay, unless they sack chasing, and I know that's an old term or whatever, and they, just with the dude for other reasons, then they may stay.
No.
There's a
But
lot
No.
of people,
It
men
takes me
and
five
women, that
minutes
are in
in most
bullshit
cases.
relationships and ain't
No,
going
no, no,
nowhere.
no. No, absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. I agree with you on that. That there are a lot of women who will stay in bullshit relationships and
Oh, men too.
because they feel like they've invested their time
but that's what I'm
already.
saying. Even to let it get that far,
Yeah.
we're talking about heading that shit off at the pass. There are a lot more men who will, because she's cute, because she's whatever. You understand?
Yeah. Like I said, it takes me in most cases about 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes
Yeah,
to
I need a
figure
little
out.
bit longer, but it don't take much longer.
Yeah. To figure out, yeah, nah, this ain't finna work.
And we're more likely to tell a dude, hey, this is not gonna work, whatever you say.
Hmm.
But men, on the other hand, they'll sit up and entertain that bullshit because they trying to fuck them, or they whatever.
Oh yeah, most men are just complete suckers for good looks. But I don't know, maybe I overthink things, but it is very clear the things that attract people and the things that make people keepers. But I know a hell of a lot of women in bullshit relationships that are just going back for more for whatever reasons.
I agree.
Matter of fact, I
But,
would
and then
say
in
most
most
of them.
cases, Well, in most of those cases, like I said, if you talk to those women, it's generally they don't want to leave because they're invested into the relationship for some reason. Which, I mean, I guess I get it. I mean, I don't be having investments in that way. So,
You would have to put on pants and leave the house. You gonna need
well,
something.
no, I'd rather invest in a good stock
Rose? Uh,
than that bullshit. Like,
So
yeah,
funny.
I mean, I could be with you for, well, I have been with the dude for years, and then he started acting up, and I'm like, okay, I'm out. Nah, I guess I feel like worse than wasting 7 years with someone is wasting 7 years in a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, nah.
You figured out it ain't gonna work. It's time to go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yupper.
As soon as it becomes abundantly clear, this is not a mutually beneficial relationship, I'm out.
Well, I'm gonna invest in stock, and I gotta find me a boot tonight. Just reminds me like it's raining here, and like I love the rain, and it's sexy as shit outside. And
Trying to be spooning.
oh my, spooning fucking whatever, like taking a shower together, like whatever. Like I am that person. Like if you with me long enough, you already know when it's raining, have your ass naked when I come in the house, or at least be prepared to get naked. I need that. So I'm on a mission.
Yeah,
Star Search is
this
Feel
on the
that,
this
road
Will
again.
Smith?
And
I'm content.
I need a consistent person to jump when it rains. So Star Search
Okay.
continues.
Get him, girl.
Wish me luck,
I
people.
I need people to leave me alone and let me watch March Madness.
Yeah, I don't give a damn. Um,
So I know.
I
So
don't.
that's what I'm saying. This is my second favorite time of the year. So
Have a glass of wine and be naked at the door. That's all I give a shit about.
my favorite time of the year, by the way, is when
Please stop.
football season and
Shut
basketball
up! I
season
mean, oh, I'm
overlap.
sorry. Did I just yell on this podcast?
You did.
Yes, yes, you did.
I'm so sorry. I'm afraid
No,
they
you're not.
talking
Uh,
shit.
well,
Anyway,
I guess I'm at that age where the most important thing to me is protecting my peace. So I'm just not about to put up with bullshit out of
I'm not
anybody
gonna do that either.
when I don't have to. You know what I
I'm
mean?
not
Like,
doing that either. So,
yeah,
If she swallows, I'll get over a certain extent of it.
yeah,
It's give and take. Tyler Perry said you're only getting 80% of what you want.
the 80/20
yeah. Because
rule.
Tyler Perry, came up with that. Sure.
No, I said he said it.
Okay.
Ain't who came up with it, it's who made it famous. We all know this by now.
Sure.
80/20 rule. Go be
So, one, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who I'm going to just say we have the same hairline and skin tone. Y'all are highly overrating him. Or underrating me, whatever it is. But your man said he would sell his semen
Y'all have the
for
same
a
muscle
million
tone.
dollars a pop and rub one out twice a day so he can make 2 million a day. So, between the three of
damn.
us,
No.
realistically, what do you think your eggs are worth?
Damn.
I mean, my geriatric eggs are probably scrambled. So, in my youth, like, I don't know that I would have sold them, to be honest.
Listen, I'm not gonna say mine's a scramble because I went to the doctor a couple of weeks ago and he just pissed me off. He was just
Yeah.
like, "Well, when you start dating again, you need to be careful because you're still blah blah blah." What the fuck? I am 50.
Yeah. I'm still as well, and I'm pissed off about it. Because I'm like, I was promised menopause at 50, and nope, not even close.
Yeah,
Mm.
whatever. Get this shit over with. Um,
Exactly. I'm with you.
Anywho, it just depends on what a person deems to be highly desirable traits. Like, I mean, me, I'm intelligent. I'm not Albert Einstein genius, whatever, genius level IQ, but I'm intelligent, but even more so, like, I'm creative, I'm different. Like, some people value those things. Some people say that they want a kid who's going to be a good singer or a great artist, or they want a very book smart child. So I would prefer my child to have the DNA of somebody who is PhD level or their IQ is at this certain level. So he's putting that value on his semen because he's a celebrity. If he had not been a celebrity, who the fuck would even entertain that shit? They probably laugh at his ass. And there's probably a lot of people still laughing at him, but I bet you if he's serious, he's got some customers.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Um,
Offspring in general is overrated. So
I need you to go hug your child.
I'm sorry. Wrong week for this for this discussion because right now Offspring is overrated to me. Um,
I'm going to stay silent.
at the end of the day, it's all a crapshoot anyway.
It's all a
Um,
Sure.
crapshoot because what people don't understand is that the process of making a human, no matter what the DNA is of the two parents, anything can go wrong, and you be done spit that two
yeah,
million.
yeah. I mean, you start doing chi-squared calculations on on genetic ratios and whatnot, and honestly, developmental biology was always my thing. I always liked genetics and developmental biology and that kind of thing. And at the end of the day, it's a crapshoot unless you can isolate those genes, which you can. You absolutely can if you have enough money. But who's going through all, you know what I mean? But for most people, it's a crapshoot. You can have two super genius parents that give rise to an idiot.
You can not only have that, but like my point is like, God forbid you pay somebody $2 million for their sperm because whatever you see desirable in that person, you're hoping it gets input into your child. But let's just say you got something going on genetically with you that you don't realize that's running through your family, and then that ends up lying, basically
Exactly.
into your child. So it's kind of
Ex-
like you spend all
exactly.
that money and now the child has Down syndrome or whatever. Is any of that going to matter? People are silly.
And that's why I'm saying
It's a
it's all a
crapshoot.
great, it's a crapshoot anyway. How your genes are going to mix with someone else's. There's also ratios. You might get this three times out of four, or two times out of four, or the possibility of this may only be one in four. I mean, and then for them all to come together at once,
The probability.
go have babies with somebody that you can stand.
That helps.
Like that's my best advice.
Yeah.
Go do that.
Hear that, Nick Cannon?
Well, he's making sure that his ratios are up.
I was a rolling stone.
There's gonna
Wherever
be a
he
whole
laid
bunch of
down
little Cannon
was
children out
home.
there dating each other and not knowing it. But
Okay. I'm sure
yeah,
all the Cannon children will be walking around like, Nick, my daddy.
well, maybe you never know. Might be some out there that don't know Nick's their daddy.
Possibly.
They think they broke ass mama getting that money from.
Yeah, which probably ain't. Maybe that's not important to her. I mean, everybody ain't motivated.
Sorry.
I'm
Yeah.
saying not everybody's motivated by money.
Mm.
Yeah, but if you're randomly getting pregnant by Nick Cannon, I'm gonna go with
I was
yeah,
just
you
getting ready to say,
probably
if you
are.
fucking with Nick Cannon, knowing that he out here just spreading them around like that, more than likely your motivation is money.
Well, I mean, maybe.
Mariah's annoying ass couldn't put up with him no more.
Well, I mean, her motivation clearly wasn't money.
Nah,
His might have been, but
I'm
hers wasn't.
sure of it.
Um,
Play it,
but
play it,
anyway,
get your money, Nicholas.
sure. I mentioned March Madness earlier,
Mm.
so I have a PSA.
Mhm.
Leave people alone while they're trying to watch the game. Don't be trying
Okay.
to hold conversations. Don't get in your feelings because someone don't want to talk to you because the game is on. This also it goes for what, May, June, when the NBA playoffs start.
Okay.
Same thing. Just understand that it's not personal. It ain't about you.
Bring snacks and look pretty.
Yes, dudes, bring snacks and look pretty. That is your job.
Quietly.
Also, shout out to Stacy Abrams, who did a cameo on Star Trek Discovery, the last episode of the season, where she played the president of United Earth. Great job. I liked it. Also, quit describing people as exotic. It's creepy. Don't do it.
But if she has three titties,
Then you would not. Then you wouldn't describe her as exotic.
okay, perfect.
I'm
Might be in
saying
a
whenever somebody has feature, if they're darker skinned or if they're of Indian heritage or African heritage or Asian heritage, and people are like, "Oh, they're so exotic." That's creepy. Don't do that.
How? I don't. I'm okay.
at
I
least don't
mean,
marry him. Anyway,
mm, just because people are not white does not make them exotic. People in this country have a bad habit of calling everybody who looks foreign as exotic. The other one with men is swarthy. I haven't quite
the
decided how
word
I feel about that one, but it gives me the same vibes as,
What is
your
it?
other swarthy.
I've
Swarthy.
never heard that.
Yeah, me
You've never
neither.
heard swarthy? You never heard them describe someone as swarthy? It really is a nice way of saying that they're dark.
Mm.
Yeah, haven't heard that one.
You'll, yeah, you'll see it in history books when they talk about people who are historically relevant. They will describe them as having a swarthy complexion, which
I
really
looked up
is,
swarthy, adjective, dark skinned. In a
yeah,
sentence,
which
she
is
looked
really them
frail,
saying
standing next
that
to
they
her
were
strong and
black
swarthy
without them
brother.
putting in the history books that they were black. Which again, not sure how I feel about that one because I think gives me the same vibes and it's kind of creepy.
That is a
People are
song
people.
title coming
Oh
Okay,
soon.
wow.
but yeah, that's all I have.
That was short and sweet.
And see, I stood up for you men. So quit saying how much that I
When
hate
did that
y'all
happen?
because I don't
Did I miss something?
usually.
Anyway, it can happen. So, for those of you who have made it this far, if you like the show, tell a friend, tell a foe, tell a hoe. If you don't, tell everybody you know 2, 3, 4 times. It is the Threesome Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, the Threesome Pod on Twitter. Night night.
Good night.
I gotta go walk the dog.